Hi, everybody. So, today I am back with a review for you all. I will be reviewing entrepreneurial creativity. Now, entrepreneurial creativity was a course that I studied for around about 6 weeks to help me understand creativity in essentially a business context. But I took out so many objectives and so much insightful information that I can apply entrepreneurial creativity and creativity in itself to so many different aspects of life. I'm going to go ahead and get started and just tell you what we did, how I felt about what we did, what I've taken away, and what I feel like I've gained from the whole course. So stay tuned. So, as a brief overview, we had to work in a team of six. Now, that team of six couldn't have one nationality. We all had to be different nationalities, which was so fun because it gave us an insight into knowing everybody and everybody's mindset and how they work and how they culturally are, how they think, how they play, how they act. It was really, really fun. And we also had to learn that the restraints and the barriers that we had were different because we all believe different things. Now, that again in itself was just so crazy in allowing us to be enthusiastic, optimistic, and sometimes pessimistic in the way that we approach the situation. Now, I love that I managed to work with so many different people because I have made some great friends for life and some great friends for life in the sense that I know how they work and I would love to work with them again in the future. And there's some great friends for life that unfortunately I won't be seeing them again, but I have learned so much from them as a person. So, in our 6 to 8 weeks that we studied entrepreneurial creativity, we did 9 assignments. And yes, 9 assignments does sound daunting, but it was possibly the most incredible 9 assignments any student has ever been able to take. So we first started off by explaining and understanding ourselves or understanding what is creativity. So our first assignment was creativity in a picture. Now, my personal reflection of creativity before the assignment was creativity is a way for people to express themselves in a new and exciting context. The picture was just for us to explain what our idea was of creativity and where we found creativity essentially. Now, my explanation for this was an image of me on top of Queen Beyonce's body, because I am a very strong Beyonce fan. And I decided that creativity was being Beyonce, was everything that Beyonce stood for. And I wanted to be that. And I found that that was creative. My mind on Beyonce's body, everything that she does, and everything that I think. So I merged the two together. And my explanation was creativity is all around me. It's the body that I move in, it's the way that I think, the things that I see, and the things that I hear. And that made me change my first initial idea of creativity. Now, I really enjoy creativity in a picture because it was so helpful in informing us of what and how to think. Now, it didn't necessarily alter what we think and didn't tell us how to think, but it allowed us as individuals determine this for ourselves. So now my way of thinking is slightly different, and it's slightly different in so many wonderful ways. Now I don't just look at creativity as restraints or creativity as this huge exposure of things to do. I look at creativity as my personal way of looking at something and approaching something and then changing the situation. Our second project was indeed storytelling. Now, storytelling was a super fun project for us to work on. It was where we got into groups of, I believe, 6 people, and we were all different nationalities and different personalities, and we actually all didn't know each other. And we learned to work together, reading from the same case study and understanding that case study in our own individual way, and then showing the whole class exactly how the case study was. So no one else in the class had read the case study except for our group, and we had to now reenact the information of the case study to the rest of the class to let them understand exactly what we had read. Now, our particular case study was about Skunkworks, an aeroplane creation company in the war times that had developed and taken on new managerial roles. So it was a passing over from one management aspect to another management aspect. It was really, really incredible to actually work on this particular case study because it had so much important information on different styles of leadership and different styles of coherence in terms of being a member of staff or a member of a team. And I feel like as a team, we personally took away so much valuable information for us to move forward because we actually did look at different types of management. And within our team, I noticed that there were so many different types of management. So that was very, very helpful for us. I personally enjoyed that so much because it allowed us to act and be creative in our own way. And that is exactly what I really wanted to do and how I could see myself progressing. Another project we worked on was the Incredible Forest Trees and Hats concept. Now, the Forest Trees and Hats concept is essentially theory that allowed us to understand, are we individual workers, are we group workers, and what kind of personalities we bring to our groups. Now, from the forest and trees concept, I found that I was more of a tree. Now, I believe a tree was somebody who was very independent and went not necessarily rushed into something, but went into something without a specified plan and yet still managed to succeed and managed to get the goal achieved. Now, a forest was somebody who likes to work in teams, who likes to take time, who likes to grow amongst the plant and with others in order to achieve the goal. Now, a tree isn't selfish and a forest isn't homely, but it was our own individual ways of completing a concept or a task. And it was incredible to find that each group had a mixture of forests and trees. Now, in terms of the six hat theory, I found myself being two different types of hats. I was a yellow and a green hat. Now, a yellow hat symbolized optimism and brightness and being able to be very open and happy about everything that I did and not necessarily frowning upon anything. Everything was available to me and I made use of every resource I had, which also reflected on my personality of being a tree. And a green hat that I also managed to be was showing that I was a new kind of idea person and I took in new concepts and creativity was really important to me. New perceptions and never letting any idea be distant. So I really enjoyed that because it did show me the more theoretical side of my actual personality and how I actually do work in terms of educationally and theoretically. And sometimes physically. We then moved on to Opportunity in a Picture, which again was incredible because Opportunity in a Picture sort of allowed me to do something that I was planning to do for my future, which was go around and understanding businesses, understanding what businesses needed to be able to renew themselves, to make more money, to become more eye catching to their consumer market, and to move forward in themselves. Now, Opportunity in a Picture, we got into groups in the town centre of Yon Shopping and we walked around to find a business that was specific to what we would like to change and to change that. And I managed to find Goldfinns, which was a jewellery store that I found needed a lot of renewal because they had so much potential. Now, Goldfinns is actually a franchise business, but in the city of Yon Shopping could do with so much renewal as we have a middle class working society and they could afford so much of the items within the store if the store was renewable and renewed in such a way that it made people of Yon Shopping feel invited. So now we're on to the task of our value proposition canvas, and I must say this was my least favourite piece of work because it made us think very deeply in terms of how to change a business. And yes, that is something that is very exciting because you have all your own new ideas and your concepts, but you also have to think about the area, the geographic area that you are making the changes to, the social market that you're making the changes to, and why you would want to make these changes to this particular store. Now, a company like Goldfinns needed so many changes, and it was important we got them right and understood what The good and the bad were what we were bringing in, what we were taking away, and how this is again going to affect our consumer market. So yes, I did enjoy it, and it was very insightful and very, very educational. Not necessarily my favorite part of the course. So tying our business model canvas to our value proposition canvas, we created an actual Golfins jewelry box of what the renewed Golfins would look like once we had made all the changes that we needed for the consumers and for the business itself, the good, the bad, and the possible in between. Now, this was very fun because it was very creative, very hands on, and very practical. We discussed the changes that were actually going to happen in Golfins, and it felt very, very real. So I did really enjoy that, and I would definitely love to do that again for any other business because it put us in a mind state where we were to think practically about what we would do differently. And I know that people really enjoy answering that question because it helps us think for ourselves and develop our own ideas and develop our own perspective on what we personally would like and what we would like to see and how that change we would like to see will affect other people. So finally, we did a presentation on our business renewal. And like I said, we were renewing Golfins, and it was one of the most incredible, and I know I've said incredible many times, this course was just incredible as a whole. But the presentation was one of the most incredible things we've ever done because it allowed us to be extremely, and I know I'm going to say this, but creative in our methods of choice and allowed us to work in such a small time frame and get things done as a team. Now, it put us in, or it definitely put me in the mindset of somebody that was actually in the working world to be given a task and to complete it in such a small amount of time and so thoroughly. Now, I really, really enjoyed that and would love, love, love to do that again.